I apologize. I have to have long intros and be redundant because YouTube takes a couple minutes to upload my live things. So I gotta be just them that a little conservative with my. Okay, so I'm live. How you guys doing? So I gotta be just them that a little conservative. So someone out there, if they give a shit about this story, they're gonna ask, because they're not gonna believe. They're gonna like ask what happened, and they're gonna kind of be like, I don't really believe you because you seem too calm and nonchalant. Hi, how you doing? So today I almost got into a life or death or what's that called? Kill or be killed situation. Somebody already turned the channel. Again, somebody's gonna ask me, "Oh, what happened? I don't believe you. You don't sound sad or distraught enough or serious enough." I really did. I almost got into a life or death or a kill or be killed situation. I don't need to try to sell myself as like tough or cool. I don't need to sell myself to you like I'm some extra. I don't have any. I never had a military background. I don't claim to. I'm a lifelong martial artist, and I am pretty good at what I do. And today I almost got into a life or death or kill or be killed situation, and I sound really nonchalant about it because of the life I've lived. That I'm used to having a lot of strife and contention, and when it intersects with like women problems and when you're like not where you want to be in life or not doing your certain passions and hobbies anymore, it culminates into a very calloused attitude. So that's why I seem like I'm probably lying out my ass. Almost got into life or death or kill or be killed situation. But the moral of the story is, fucking, you're so vulnerable because you're not really allowed to have a pew pew or a weapon, much less have it at the ready. And I can't elaborate what happened because I don't want to incriminate myself or whatever. Nothing went down. Fuckers, I guess you could say they did assault me. They threw something at me. And they threatened me like really bad and shit. And these are some drug addicts that swore I was somebody else. And I started getting infuriated, like, you dumb son of a bitch. I have all my teeth in my face. I obviously don't do methamphetamine. Why would I ever be in your fucking world, you stupid fuck? Like, I didn't even start taking that point until they called me the B word. They thought I was just gonna get scared and roll over. And like, I was trying to give them a warning, dude. I was like, basically, I'm not gonna get into it. I was like, dude, look it. I'm not trying to act tough or gangster. You don't want to fuck with me, dude. I don't want the problems. You don't want to wake up dead. And they were perplexed. They scoffed at that at first. Like they thought I think I'm all tough. And then I think they realized how resolute I was. I think they probably even though they're drug addicts, I think why they didn't fuck with me is they were like, why is this one guy so confident against three? It's like, get the hint, you stupid fucking. They're out of their mind. So, really calloused about it because it's Friday the 13th too. This is the second day I walked into a madman in a row. The day before, it says this is Friday the 13th, this is Pacific Coast time. We have less than an hour left of Friday the 13th, March 2026. Okay. Uh, I don't know. Just I seem really callous to it because, like I was shaken up by it, not because I was scared of those people. I was scared about accidentally going to jail, which I would have been self-defense, but you never know what they might try to falsely accuse you of nowadays. So, made me really wake the fuck up today, dude. Like, how we need to be ready and training and shit. You never know, dude. You can't be lazy. I had a meat. I forgot. I had a meat cleaver, like only 4 feet away from me. But uh, I was basically gonna run around my whole something to grab a, you know what? So, seem really nonchalant about it because, uh, for all the shit I've been through in my life, like I don't get the benefit of the doubt. It doesn't get any like glory. Like they're not gonna, you know, the people aren't gonna believe me or some shit, you know, or they're gonna think that I'm in, like talk, like trying to act tough or sell myself as some fucking like tactical fucking, you know, whatever, dude. I already admit I'm a martial artist and my channel is an informing channel. It's got some rudimentary tactical and survival knowledge to get you going and direct you to bigger channels. But yeah, guys, so to whom it may concern, I almost got into a killer be killed situation today. I did. Fucking, no one's gonna believe me because I sound too nonchalant about it. And the takeaway is we're all like very, very vulnerable because you're not even allowed to have a weapon at your ready, and how fast these guys could have got out of their vehicle. And if I was like, for all I know, if I was like 20 or 30 years younger, that would have been impossible to avoid getting robbed. And so I sound really, I keep saying over, I sound really calloused about it. I was pretty shaken up about it. I wasn't scared of them. I was scared of like getting in trouble for defending myself, like going to jail or something, guys. They're like, seem really calloused about it, unenthusiastic, because like we men, we go through a lot of strife and a lot of trouble for very little reward. So it made me feel pretty burned out, dude, you know? And yeah, it's pretty crazy, dude. I could have, yeah, kill or be killed situation, dude. Depends on who would have got to me first, them or my feet to get me to my Bergy Moss, my Bergy Moss 88 500. I'm fucking tired, guys. See, that's the kind of shit. There's a fucking huge ass noise in the kitchen. It could be natural. We have sensor lights here. Sometimes they went off by themselves. Maybe it could be rodents with no motion trackers or something. I saw it over and over and over. Did you know, guys? I seen an orb when I was a kid. No one's watching. Who cares? I almost got in a kill or be killed situation today, guys. And it wouldn't have been my fault, guys. There's a fucking banging noise again. If there's any like law enforcement watching my channel, like I'm a person of interest or something, I want you to know that I would never do anything to try to make your job or my life any harder. I've gone this long without any heavy priors. In a perfect world, I would want to help you kill bad people, but I'm not trying to fucking like I'm not trying to 150, 150, any shit, dude. You know, three guys today. I thought one was in the back seat. I didn't see it. We had three. I thought two. One dude was big. I thought they're gonna come after me, dude. Knives, all dirty. They're fucking methamphetamine addicts, dude. Yeah, man. Fuck. So, anyways, thanks for fucking hanging with, man. This has been a hard year already. My heart is so heavy, dude. Like, I gotta basically drink whiskey to fucking get in a mood to sing or karaoke. So yeah, I don't think I could do karaoke tonight, man. Yeah, man. Fuck, dude. My shit, dude. It's Friday the 13th. 45 more minutes in Southern California. We have Friday the 13th, March 2013. Oh man, I'm trying to think of some other stories where shit could have got really downhill real fast, you know. But I guess I can't. I better try to sing or something because I'm really tired. I might not be that good. So I'm really tired. My guts, dude, my stomach is so like, I don't know, like it's gonna twist and turn, and my heart above my stomach hurts, dude, from the stress of like I want a peaceful Christian life of like ideal good friends or a chick and shit, and it's this constant running into arguing and like fucking near life and death shit. But no one takes me seriously. Like I go to gun stores and these like dudes that think that they're tactical preppers or whatever because they have a beer gut and they know they have a SIG and a Ruger, not just a Glock and a Mossberg. They try to out alpha me, and then I'll eventually make them feel stupid because I've done martial arts my whole life. Hi, how you doing? I almost got in a death, and they fucked off. I almost got in a life or death situation today. I almost got in a do or die situation. So, you guys, I don't know if anybody cares if you're watching, if you follow my channel. I have to be a douchebag. I have to talk like I'm king shit. I have to talk like I'm a Billy Badass. I have to talk like my shit don't stink and I'm the God's greatest gift to this world. Because it makes other people that are haters and detractors get the point with their passive aggressive shit that I'm being like openly fucking aggressive, you know, not passive, like let them know off the bat. So I don't like to be fake. But yeah. Yep. I'm fucking tired, dude. This is a pretty crazy fucking world, dude. I work and live out in the desert, in the middle of the desert. A lot of crazy shit, demon possessed people and shit. So let's watch stuff. Let's see if we can watch together on my tablet. I need an energy drink. I probably just need an energy drink. Let me what the fuck did I say we were gonna watch, guys? I don't even fucking know ass of fuck, dude. Fuck, why are you so fucking blinding me? I love you. Oh, watching. Hey, how you doing, somebody? They fucked off already. I'm a broken record. I almost got in a kill or be killed situation today, guys. I guess I don't sound like urban enough. I need to look like Vin Diesel and speak rough ghetto, like rough gangster ebonics, or like a Scarface, like a Tony Montana fucking accent to be taken seriously. But no, that's not how it goes. That's not how it goes, guys. Attack on U.S. soil. Yeah. So supposedly we might have a terrorist attack in California and shit. It's a drone. This is early 2026.
Hey everybody, how are you doing tonight? Glad that you're here with us. Wasn't really expecting to do a live tonight, but some stuff has come up. And at first when I heard it's like, yeah, right. You guys are dumb. I don't believe you. But you know, I've had some things brought to my attention from some people that are more educated on this type of stuff than me and a little more plugged in, that made me want to bring this to your guys' attention because it kind of feels important considering the whole climate, the temperature, what's going on in the world today. We're currently at war with Iran. Regardless of what they call it, whether they call it a skirmish or a mission or a movement or whatever the fuck they want to church it up with, bro. We're at war with Iran. There's a lot of shots going back and forth. I know that I just put out a short and a lot of people are actually like flaming me in the short because they don't want to believe what I was reporting. And even though I was just reporting what was actually released and reported, people were like, I can't believe you actually believed. And then Senator Kennedy came out and actually confirmed, yes, it was one of our Tomahawk missiles that hit that little girl's school in Iran, killing, I believe it was 100, and the total death count is up to 173, I believe, at last count. So basically, I was talking about how they found pieces of the Tomahawk, and it's definitely American-made pieces and shit like that. And it still could be a psyop, but Senator Kennedy has come out and confirmed it. And they did a whole investigation. So I reported that, and people were like, I can't believe that you would fucking think that, and yada, yada, yada. And I do understand that, it very well could be that they found those pieces of that missile and moved it from somewhere else. It could be that they were working on bad intel. I understand these things. I'm not retarded. I was reporting what was being reported, and I was saying, if these reports are true, this is what's being reported, because I don't want to feed you guys my opinion on shit that we don't have conclusive evidence for. That's not the right thing to do. So I was just giving you guys the information, letting you guys run with that information. Now Senator Kennedy has come out and actually confirmed it. I still don't know if he has all the facts. I don't know the whole thing. So, I don't believe a lot of what's coming out of this war right now over there. I know that in a lot of the parts of Israel that are being attacked, they have shut down the internet so that the people of Israel can't report on what's going on in the actual streets. So we're not getting that information, and I find that weird, but I find a lot of their moves real fucking weird and sketchy. But when we have a country that is threatening to attack us, like Iran is doing right now, and they're actually giving us a specific target Can anybody tell me what the tactical advantage of letting your enemy know that an attack is coming and where it's coming, like to where they're going to hit? It doesn't make a lot of sense to me. So if anybody can tell me what the tactical advantage of that would be. First, we're going to watch a video just showing you guys like a little bit of what is being reported. And then we're going to hear from my dude, Jake, at Black Scout Survival, because he has some really, really good points. I've talked to a few different people, and I would really like to bring some attention to this. Mark Aaron Bauer, JD, just wanted to drop in and say, hey, brother, God bless you and your family 100%. I love you, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Brother, it's so good to see you. What's up, Van Hammer? What's going on, brother? I'm still having a hard time wrapping my head around what's happening to the world. This is so beyond political parties now, I fear. The only thing that's going to end this is a civil war. All of you be safe, stay alert, never let your guard down, brother. And for a long time now, we've been talking about the possibility of a civil war. In fact, it really started catching a lot of like actual fucking motion, in my opinion, these discussions of a civil war, when Charlie Kirk died, and we started seeing the reactions of different people across the country. It just seemed so disgusting, so evil, and so divided that I think a lot of people lost hope that we're going to be able to unify as a country, that we're going to be able to fix things without it coming to some sort of climactic, violent altercation. And I think we all know which side is probably not going to do very good if it comes down to that. I really don't see a bunch of blue-haired septemringians coming out on top when it comes down to violence. They can't go for, 8 hours without their fucking gender-affirming meds and shit like that. But I don't want to see it happen, bro. I love this country. I don't think it's what's in the best interest of this country. And I've been saying that from day one. You know what I'm saying? I don't want any war here. But the farther that we go, the more it seems like it might be an inevitability. I think if we could unite on something, the thing that I thought we would be able to unite on is them fucking and eating kids. Them fucking and torturing and eating kids. I figured that would be something that we would be able to unite as a people on. And that didn't get traction. Or how about that a bunch of people in our government are just blatantly acting treasonous for another country? You've got people like Ted Cruz and Lindsey Graham, and the majority really of the people in our government won't say they're America first. How are you going to be employed by the American people, working in the American government, and you're too much of a pussy cuck coward to say, yes, America first, the American people first, this country and what it was founded upon first, instead of being full-on MAGA, make Israel great again? It blows my fucking mind. But bro, Banhammer, I love you, I appreciate you, and thank you for that huge support as always, my guy. Silent Guard said, diversion, I'm thinking DC will get hit. So that's a really good point. I would think, I have this move where I would act like I was gonna hit somebody and then I would kick their fucking knee out. And that is what this would present to me as something where they were like, look over there, and then they attack over there. Serenity said, did you hear about Trump endorsing Brandon Herrera? I did, man, I did. I think, it's the only logical choice for Trump to endorse Brandon Herrera, in my opinion. Bakersfield Farms, what is up? 7 years sober, 0 police interactions, much love. Homie, I am so proud of you, dog. Hell yeah, that is fucking sick, man. Big love to you, bro. So 7 years is actually a goal that has been, from day one, a goal for me. Because, and I know that I've said this before, but I heard somewhere that every cell in the human body regenerates every 7 years. And I don't know if that's true. I haven't looked it up. I don't want it to be debunked because it's been a goal that I've had. I feel like that's why Christians say that after 7 years of no intercourse, you're a born again virgin. So I want to have a body that, at least in my mind, has never done substances. And bro, 7 years sober, you hit that. I'm so proud of you, bro. Yo, Tweaked Pat, homie, thank you so much, big dog. Stay alert, stay strapped. This missile business is very foggy. I've seen the tally frame us with the AS. What better way to turn the world against us? But that's just me. Hope everyone stays safe. Semper Fi. Brother, thank you for your service. Thank you for your expertise. Thank you for coming here and giving us your opinion on this, man. Deeply appreciate it. Yeah, you know, we all know that the real war these days is fought through information. And that's why things like social media are so important. That's why right now Iran, just so you guys know, Iran just said they're making hard targets out of our technologies companies. They named off Microsoft, Palantir, Oracle, which runs TikTok. And the only one I'm really worried about, like, I don't give a fuck if you take out Microsoft and Palantir. And I definitely don't care if you hit Oracle. If you want to take out TikTok, run that shit. But they also threatened they're making a hard target out of Google. If you make a hard target out of Google and you fuck up my YouTube community, I will be entirely fucking pissed, bro. Because this is where I go to socialize. This is where I go to connect with.
You know, if we lived in a perfect society, they would have just gave JD his Second Amendment back already. Sorry.
People, you guys are my fam. You're my friends. You guys are my people. This is the Wood Chipper Tribe all day, every day. So hopefully they can't do none of that shit, man, because I would be absolutely sick, brother. Fang said, tactically speaking, saying where you're going to hit is either one of two things. Either fear tactic to cause hysteria or it's a power move on their part. Yeah. Well, so, and I would understand the fear tactic or maybe diversion. But, you know, if they tell us they're going to hit us in California and then they still manage to do that, that looks bad on us, bro. That looks real weak on us. Dev said, JD, you probably don't remember me from the last stream. I'm 16 years old. I wanted to say, bro, I absolutely remember you, brother. I absolutely remember you, dog. Your family here. I wanted to say something. I think the war in Iran is horrible, and war is horrible, but the U.S. should persecute the pedos, and the parties should be united. United we stand, divided we fall. And that's absolutely where it should be, brother. That's absolutely where it should be, little brother. And for 16, you are wise beyond your years. Tweaked Pat, what up, dude? Thank you again, man. Appreciate that. Supposed to say with less, bad typo. So let's see. It was supposed to be the Taliban will frame us with less. What better way to turn the world against us? Dude, thank you so much again for another big super, man. Big love and respect. Reaper's Revenge said, just moved from Cali back to North Carolina because of the crazy. That's a fair move, brother. Serenity said, 6 years, 11 months till I'm born again virgin. Hey, get it, brother. Demons of Hell, I finally caught one of your streams. I watch your videos while I'm on patrol here in Texas. Oh, dude, that's what's up, man. Big love and respect to you out there in Texas. That's definitely one of my favorite states. Stacy Face in Texas said, this war is so wrong. Trump has destroyed our reputation as a country and our relations with the Middle East going forward, including our allies, where our military bases are, because we can't be trusted. I'm so disappointed in our government. And I know that there's a lot of people in here that have a lot of mixed feelings about this war, about why we're there. A lot of people feel like we're doing this because we've become Israel's fucking lapdog. And a lot of our politicians are paid off by AIPAC and JPAC and all of these other PACs that are Israel PACs. And I think that there's a lot to be said about how in the pocket of Bibi Netanyahu, Trump is appearing these days. And it's definitely never pretty when we get into war. But what I want to get into right now is I want to get into right here this video from what's happening in California. So let's give it a listen.
Good afternoon. I can tell you we just learned that the FBI reportedly warned California police about that unconfirmed intelligence report involving a possible drone strike by Iran off the West Coast. That's according to ABC News. It's reports like that one, which is exactly why we see some barricades outside, fencing here. We know.
Like he says, off the West Coast. From the West Coast? You mean like from the fucking like sea? or like of course, right? Like
By Sunday, there will be hundreds of police officers deployed here to the Dolby Theater, along with hundreds of federal Homeland Security and FBI personnel. Moments ago, in a virtual news conference, Governor Gavin Newsom said that he was aware of those threats from Iran to attack areas of California with drone strikes. Take a listen.
Concerns as it relates to the broader concern, as it relates to drone strikes, we've been aware of that information. We've been working collaboratively through the SOC, which we established right after the war began, the State Operations Center, working with the Office of Emergency Service, but also working locally to make sure we transmit any information that we have received, and we're aware of that, which has been reported, I think, by ABC7. We're aware of that information, and we transferred that information in real time to our local partners. Drone issues have been always top of mind, and we've assembled work groups specifically around those concerns. But that's all I'll share at the moment. I have nothing more insightful beyond just what's been reported and how we're transmitting what we know to our local partners, which is critical.
For 250 years, this land shaped who we are. From generation to generation, fishing has always been part of the American story. And today, Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's carry on that tradition with our biggest fishing and boating
reported and how we're transmitting what we know to our local partners, which is critical.
Does anybody trust Gavin Newsom? I want to do a poll real quick. I mean, he just comes off so slimy to me. Like every time I hear him talk, he makes my fucking skin crawl, bro. Like Newsom just, I can't get down with it, bro. And I know that we have people of all political affiliations in here, but like, I just want to get a general bead. Do you guys get that same feeling off Newsom that I do? Because he gives me the heebies and the fucking jeebies, bro. But you know, he's saying that they are prepared, they are aware. So, you know, I guess we'll see how prepared they are if anything actually does happen. I just can't get down. I can't get down with Gavin, bro. I can't get down with Gavin.
your enemies, right?
We are going to be listening to a little bit of what my boy Jack says, but first, I want to check this. 97% of people here do not trust Gavin Newsom, and yeah, that was about what I expected. Somebody said he's a fruit. Yeah, no, absolutely. And I wouldn't trust him. Listen, I wouldn't trust him to lead my state. I wouldn't trust him to lead my country. I wouldn't trust him around my kids or anybody's kids. I think Gavin Newsom is a nasty bastard, bro. I am not with him at all whatsoever, dog. Like, he's one of those people that has always rubbed me wrong. And if he ever rubbed me personally in person, like, and touched me physically, I would probably punch him until my arms didn't work anymore. So I want you guys to know who we're watching here. This is my boy. This is Black Scout Survival. Really good dude. Really, really good content. And so I'm really stoked on this video. Where did the video go? We're going to be checking some of him out. If you are not subbed to Black Scout, highly recommend, man. Absolutely highly recommend. So he's going to give us some information that I think is one of the more educated takes that I've seen on this. Actually, you know, who sent me this too is my buddy Valhalla VFT sent me this, and he said, bro, you have to check this out. So this was sent and recommended by Nate.
Something weird is happening over California right now. Federal authorities have warned law enforcement agencies about a possible drone attack originating from a vessel off the United States coast and allegedly tied to Iran. Now, at the exact same time, we have the Navy's E-6B Mercury, better known as the Doomsday plane, that's been spotted flying all over California during approach drills. Now, if you don't know what that aircraft is, that is the plane that's literally airborne command center for nuclear war. Its job is simple. If Washington is destroyed, if ground command is wiped out, if the U.S. is attacked in a catastrophic scenario, the plane becomes the backup brain of the entire U.S. military.
I didn't even know this was a thing. This was crazy to hear, and its location right now, where it's at, is pretty wild too.
It maintains communication with nuclear submarines. It can transmit launch orders. It keeps the chain of command alive if the country is hit. So the question becomes, why is that aircraft suddenly flying around California?
And Offskew is in the chat right now, a California resident who said they just saw the Doomsday plane in San Diego.
While the FBI is warning about potential drone attacks off the West Coast. Because to me, that combination is not normal. And before we get to this, the last part of this video might actually be the most important piece of the puzzle. So stick around. Now, what the FBI actually said, this was intelligence alerts reviewed by ABC News. Federal authorities warned that the California law enforcement that Iran may attempt a retaliatory drone attack against targets on the U.S. West Coast if tensions escalate further. Now, the part that got my attention is the intelligence suggests these drones could be launched from a vessel position off the U.S. coastline.
Now, see, this was my thing with this is they don't have the capability, and I made a video about this earlier today, and I was saying they don't have the capability to get from Iran to California. That's fucking wild. This actually checks out, though. This makes it make sense, and he goes really a lot deeper with this as well. So I feel educated and corrected by this.
Think about that for a second, and remember back, I did a video about this years ago. Beijing is believed to be developing hidden weapons to strike enemy ports and ships. Hidden missiles in containers, lift out, ready to be fired. Now, we would be dumb to believe that this wasn't actually already in existence, because if you're a smart individual in any form of the military, you'd probably position something like that, kind of clandestine ships that could strike your enemies, right? That would make sense. The other thing I want to revert back to is that, remember back in New Jersey right before inauguration, all around the Northeast area, saw all those weird drones that look like, now we're thinking the Shahed drones, that one police officer, a female, she had a video. She's recording things coming out of the ocean. She talked about it. They took the video from her, and that police officer vanished off the face of the earth. You never heard about it again. So, to me, that was probably true. It was probably maybe conglomeration of our enemies, whatever. Because with a little ship or vessel, you don't need a military base, a missile base. You don't need a military airfield. You can launch drones from something as simple as a cargo ship, fishing vessel, or a container freighter. And suddenly you have kamikaze drones flying towards U.S. cities. And to be honest, my confidence level is down, because would they try to even stop it to get a buy-in from the American public? Oh, America got hit like 9/11. Everyone's buying is patriotic. Then, so it makes me think that it's very possible they would even allow it. Or do you think we would have competent people in place to even protect us?
Now, this I think is an important point, because I know that there's a lot of conspiracy theories about what happened with 9/11. I know that we also saw that Charlie Kirk himself was starting to question whether Israel had done this with that October attack, whether they had stood down and allowed their people to get brutally attacked to justify what they were about to do in Gaza. So do you guys think that the American government would do a false flag attack on U.S. soil, or allow an attack to happen? Well, we did a poll on it, and 76% of the people in the chat said that they believe that the U.S. government would do a false flag attack on our own people, on our own soil, to justify going to war. And I 100% believe that they would. But how crazy is it that over 3/4 of us believe that our own government would attack us to justify going to war. That's how little faith we have in our government officials these days. And it's hard to believe that when you've got people like Lindsey Graham going and saying that he doesn't stand with the American people unless they support Israel. He'll stand with Israel till the day he dies. And Ted Cruz saying that his whole get down is to advocate for Israel. You are American and you hold office in America. You are part of the reason why the people don't fucking trust you. And then whatever the fuck is going on in the Democratic Party. Like, I actually understand when Congress doesn't get notified until after we make military moves. Can you imagine telling AOC and Ilhan Omar that we're going to do an attack before we do it? We'd be walking into a fucking trap. These people are fucking traitors. There's traitors and snakes on both sides, you guys.
Officials say they don't have a confirmed timeline or targets. Of course, you're not going to know that. And of course, you're not going to say that. And they're not going to tell us that. But the fact that warning exists means one thing. They believe the capability is real, or they're planning a false flag attempt, or allowing something to happen, right? Sometimes it's just being compromised, allowing something to happen, okay? And we've seen that type of action throughout history. They allow an attack to happen, so that way it gives them reasoning in the public buy-in to take action.
At Farmer Boys, we spend the morning cooking so you can sit down to a hearty breakfast. Dig into the golden good
public buy-in to take action. But the part nobody is talking about yet is launching drones from ships. Again, this is some crazy Hollywood movie. Iran has actually experimented with containerized drone launch systems. That means drones can be hidden inside standard cargo containers, the same containers that sit all over the world, and a lot of them outside of the California coastline, because that's where a lot of product comes in from foreign countries, Asia especially, into America. They can open it, launch it, and suddenly you have multiple drones flying toward targets hundreds of miles away. It's done, easy, right? Now, imagine that sitting quietly on a cargo ship looks like normal commercial traffic until suddenly a swarm of drones launches toward the U.S. coastline. You think they're going to get all of them, right? And remember something important about this. California ports process about 40% of all imports coming into the United States. Thousands of ships move through those waters every year. Remember when Pete Buttigieg was in charge and he got the whole damn shipping lanes out there. There's cargo sitting out there, people trying to get UPS packages for months because he had it all, when he was breastfeeding his kid. Right? But you wouldn't know which one to even look at because there's so many out there. How are you going to even search all of these things? And Iran has spent years developing this cheap drone tech here, okay? The Shahed 136. This thing is giving us massive problems because we're spending, these things cost anywhere from $20,000 to $50,000. We're spending like $800,000 to shoot one of these things down.
$800,000 to shoot one of these sons of bitches down, you guys. That's fucking crazy.
And we're burning through our stockpiles at the same time, right? These things are long-range, GPS guided, extremely cheap. They're designed as kamikaze drones. Russia has used thousands of them in Ukraine. You've seen the footage. They buzz around with a propeller, slow approach, and then boom, impact. Now imagine dozens of those, hundreds of those, approaching U.S. coastline offshore.
Can I get one? Can a felon own one of them shits? So listen, we did a poll, and 91% of this community right here believes that the majority of our government is compromised. 91% of us. And I'm within that 91%, 100. I'm within that 91%. I just think it's incredible A, how based this fucking community is. I fucking love you guys. And B, that this is the temperature in our country right now. That many of us feel like a majority in our government are compromised. And what do we do about that? Because we have to take it back. We cannot allow that to abide. We, the people, are this country. The few that we have elected to represent us are not this country. So when it comes to the point that we have lost trust and faith in those few that represent us, something has to fucking change, bro. Something has to fucking change. So, yeah, I want to thank everybody for participating in these polls, man. I love you guys.
Okay. Imagine it.
To a missile, which requires a great big launch platform that can be targeted and taken out, and then the missiles are no longer useful. This can be launched from the back of a truck, from the middle of a field, from a boat, compared to a missile, which requires a big production facility.
Haters will say that's AI. Haters will say those aren't real drones right there. They don't know what they're talking about, though, I believe.
So it's a cheap knockoff, Temu version. But some people may ask, why California? Several reasons. First, California has massive strategic targets, naval bases, ports, defense contractors, technology infrastructure, power grid nodes. Second, California is psychologically symbolic. An attack there would generate massive media coverage, just like New York City. And third, is again the closest U.S. coastline to Pacific trade routes, meaning a vessel could theoretically launch drones without immediately raising alarms. And again, remember when all those drones were flying in the Northeast and they're all just hobby drones. So these people don't even know what's going on. And there's a lot of hobby drones. So
how disheartening is it that we had all these shits flying around? You remember when all that shit was flying around last year and they kept telling us, well, we just don't know. We don't know. It might have been something we were doing, or it might have been aliens, or it might have been China, or it might have been like, bro, how fucking crazy is it that we never got any closure on that? Like, it made me lose so much faith in the American government that, first off, I don't believe that they just don't know. If they don't know, they're wildly fucking incompetent. You can't just have crazy shit rolling around in U.S. airspace without drawing attention and them needing to know, right? Like, you would assume. If they didn't know, they're wildly incompetent. But if they did know, that means that they're not telling us what the fuck is flying over our houses. Our houses, bro. These were residential areas. These were areas where people live. And you don't think they deserve the right to know what's flying over their fucking houses? That's crazy, dude.
Theoretically, they could get away with something like this, right? Now, talk again for a second about the Doomsday plane, the E-6B Mercury, okay? This is a Navy program called TACAMO, stands for Take, Charge, and Move Out. Its job is to maintain communications with U.S. nuclear submarines and missile forces during national emergency. So in other words, if the worst possible scenario ever happened, the plane keeps nuclear command structure alive. It acts like a flying command bunker. And when you suddenly see it doing drills over major population areas, obviously I'm going to ask questions. But the other thing where this gets interesting is that E-6B isn't even the only aircraft designed for this mission. There's also the E-4B Night Watch. That aircraft is the president's doomsday plane, okay? It's basically a flying Pentagon. It allows the president and military leadership to command U.S. forces during a nuclear conflict. So essentially, America could be annihilated, okay? Talking about Book of Eli level shit. And they're up there making moves.
So, basically like what Benjamin Netanyahu has done. That fucking coward. Because you know that he's not in Israel right now. You know that he fled to Germany. Israel's leadership knew that they were going to start some shit, that it was going to get gnarly, and the leadership in Israel fled to Germany because Germany simps Israel hella bad ever since that little incident, the World War II thing. They're like, oh, I'm so sorry, bro. Like, what can we do to make up for it? You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a little incident. It's kind of in the history books. Don't know how much of what's written is accurate, but, Germany seems to be real in the pocket of Israel since then. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like how, I feel like all of them feel bad for shit that happened way before they were alive. Kind of like America does with slavery. Like, was anybody here born when slavery was still a thing? Because I wasn't. My people didn't own slaves. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't alive. Was anybody in this chat a slave? I don't think that you were, dog. And yet I'm supposed to feel bad for some shit I ain't had nothing to do with. I don't accept that. I don't buy that. I don't really think that Germany should feel like all that crazy. Why am I a loser? Kevin, I got something for you, buddy. I don't know which hole is bothering you, whether it's your mouth and you know something in your meow meow, or whether it's your pussy. But either way, we can get you plugged, bro. We can get you plugged, homie. I don't understand why I would be talking about this and you would call me a fucking loser, Kevin. That's weird. But I do know this, buddy. We could hit you with the double. If you want to get, just stuff like Chinese finger cuffs from both ends, we can make it happen, baby. You know I got you. JD to the rescue. Oh, hell yeah. All right. So, I want you guys to know, thank you so much, Dr. Dre Light. If you guys want to follow Black Scout Survival, there's a link to his channel pinned in this chat. Hell of a guy, good ass dude, and really informative, man. I'm learning here. Learning with y'all.
So anytime global tensions rise, and we've seen them take off I think it was last year, right? They'll fly more frequently. Because if a catastrophic attack ever occurred, these aircraft allow the United States to continue operating even if Washington was destroyed. So when these aircraft suddenly appear in the news cycles, flying over California, you have to wonder, man, what is the military preparing for, right? And they're really not going to tell us everything. That's the other part of this. So even them telling us this is either one of two things. One, potential attack. Or three things. Potential attack. They could stop it. Two, potential attack. They let it happen. Three, false flag.
And it's wild that 3/4 of this chat believes that our government would absolutely allow or would perpetrate a false flag against our own citizens to justify them going to war. I don't disagree. It's absolutely crazy. But, I could see them do it, and I think that they've done it. I think that I think if we're honest with each other, there's a lot of stuff that's gone on that we've never gotten answers for that we could look at and go, man, we've had some false flag attacks where our government probably just let that shit happen and the American people suffered. American people died because of it. Zero said, dude looks like a Disney supervillain. You're talking about, I think this was right when we had Gavin Newsom on. Yeah, no, I agree. T-Man, not only no, but hell no, I don't trust the government at all, big dog. My guy. The left has lost the plot, and they're the reason why we need to bring mental institutions back into this country, homie. Yeah, no, you're 1,000% right on the mental institutions. We need them shits. Roman Wolf said, I wouldn't trust Newsom with my local Walmart. I wouldn't want that dude around my produce, I'll tell you that. I wouldn't eat vegetables that had been around that fruit. That's for real. Twitchy said he destroyed San Francisco and then California he will go no further. Well, I really, really hope that he doesn't go any further. I hope that we get some actual leaders that pull their shit together and that the American people can get behind, because we live in a real low trust society when it comes to our government and what's happening on the streets right now. It's not good, man. William Osterman, my dude. If they touch our country, I'm re-enlisting in the United States Marine Corps. Play Toby Keith, unless they take out Newscomb or Pelosi. Bro, thank you for your service. Thank you for your sacrifice. If they touch our country, bro, I wish they would let me join. I think that I'm cooked on that, bro. I think I'm cooked. 58 felonies, being old as shit and covered in tattoos. I don't think they'd give me no fucking passes. But man, that would be sick. C-Dog, what if that rocket is one we left in Afghanistan? I mean, that could be. That very well could be. I think that they actually looked at their target list, and they had that on their target list. But from what I've heard, they were going off of an old information with their target list, which could have been something that we were set up to do. Trev said security at Connecticut Airport was up this morning. Oh, that's crazy, bro. Are you in Connecticut? That's what's up, big dog. Love you, man. Dev said, JD, I don't know if you knew this, but the Marine who got his arm broke, guess what? He is married to a Muslim woman. And if you Islam, a prophet was literally a pedophile, the actual guy. So yeah, Mohammed, peace be upon him, married Aisha when she was 6 years old. But it's okay to the Muslims because he waited until she was 9 to violate her sexually, to rape the 9-year-old girl. I don't believe that Islam is compatible with Western countries, dog. I just don't. The Venomous Walrus. I don't believe the lizard people conspiracy, but if I did, Gavin Newsom would be one. That corn-speckled turd needs to resign. Him, Mark Zuckerberg. There's a few. Who would y'all think that are lizard people? I definitely think we've named 2. One, slow. I prefer to feel bass through my subwoofers, not missiles. Facts on that, big dog. Facts on that. Horrific, fantastic Friday the 13th. JD Kennedy rejected Operation Northwoods, which was the CIA planning terrorist attacks on the homeland to blame Cuba. Absolutely. Absolutely. They 100%, they were trying to do false flag attacks on the American people to justify them wanting to go to war. Absolutely gross behavior. And we all know what happened to JFK, bro. We all know what happened to JFK. Spooby said, you seen AC idea of Caleb Hammer style for formal criminals? Love you guys. Pepperbacks in here. I didn't see what Angry Cops said. No, but I love Angry Cops and I love Caleb, man. Those are great dudes. Mike Zero Source said, take note. The United States Coast Guard, which falls under DHS, is not funded under the current government shutdown. The Coast Guard is tasked to protect American shorelines. Big facts, big dog. Mark said, need more Brandon Herrera clones, 100%. I can tell you, for all my distrust of the government, I trust Brandon Herrera. He's one of us. I know him personally. I've been in his home. I've been in his Cybertruck. And I told him in public on a couple different posts, people were like, oh, well, will you still support him if he starts doing traitorous shit? No, I'll call him the fuck out. And you know what his reply to me in public was? He said, I expect the American people to hold me accountable for my actions. And he said, I expect it even more from my friends. Thank you, brother. And that's the only right answer, homie. That's the only right answer. Everybody in a political office should view it how he does, as a way of serving their country. Brandon never joined the military. He wants to serve his country in this way. And straight up, every single one of them should be like, if I'm doing shit that the people who voted for me don't agree with, and I'm not representing them properly, then 100%.
Carbon 12, 14, Ytterbium 176 and 7.8 should enter commercial production or have commercial deliveries this year. That's pretty significant because All of our customers liked what they saw in the commercial samples. Now it's about ramping this up into commercial production quantities and getting that to customers. And that should allow us to become a cash-generating company, which for any company, any startup company, is a major milestone.
Tires built to perform. Period. Built without limits. Hanker Tire, official tire partner of TGL, presented by SoFi.
They should change or they should be removed. And we need to start hanging motherfuckers for treason. When people are traitors to this country, we used to have a way of dealing with that. We would take them, we would find a tree, we would find some fucking rope, and we would... Now we need to start doing that again publicly. Town square type shit. If you're not America first, you're a fucking traitor to this country, dog. If you're any other country first, you're a traitor to this country, dog. And the rope is fucking super eco-friendly. It's green. You can reuse it over and over again. You can recycle. You know what I'm saying? The Democrats should like it because it's like recycling or whatever. I think it's a win-win. Elephantasm, what's up, man? I got out of the army just in time. It's cooking off. The problem with the government is that it's like AI. Beneath the mask is Shaggoth that we are trying to discover. Red herrings have to be sorted. Absolutely. And again, brother, thank you for your service and your sacrifice, man. Big love to you. Walt said, don't you think they could possibly be based in Mexico? That's another really good point. They could absolutely have something set up in Mexico, and these could be deployed from trucks. So they could drive them out into the desert and fly them a few hundred miles and boom, set off the fucking fireworks and kill a lot of people, dog. Fang said, brother, after seeing the e-files, I don't doubt how far corruption reaches. Makes me wonder how much worse it is. It disappoints me the lack of transparency between the government and the people it serves. And yes, there are some of the things in the e-files are some of the biggest revelations, and the fact that they worked so tirelessly and so hard to hide them from us, we should never forgive and we should never fucking forget. We should never forget that. Real Yoda MC, what's up, dog? Much love from the Grateful Guinea Project in Eugene. Oh, homie, I have to hit you up. Thank you so much. I love you, dog. I'm going to be hitting you up really soon. It's great to see you here, man. Big love and respect. And thank you for the work that you're doing in our community to help people, man. You're a hero. Arfo said, everybody said that my dad was crazy talking about a global cult of elite satanic pedophiles. He was right. We owe a lot of people apologies that we called conspiracy theorists. Seal said, I don't trust the government with this. I don't trust the government with much, man. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen them? Bill Gates, another lizard person, in my opinion. Absolutely. I'm not saying for sure he's a lizard person. I'm just saying we should skin him and find out. That's all I'm saying. Vinny said, the politicians of Virginia are actively stripping Virginians of their Second Amendment rights as Iranian sleeper cells are actively planning attacks on American soil. Tell me how that makes sense. Well, it makes sense if they want to let the enemy in and they want us to be sitting fucking ducks, man. That's the only way that shit makes sense. Damien said, behold the pale horse, Bill Cooper. They killed him. Tattoo Rebel, JD, I sent you a Facebook message about a true crime YouTuber for missing children who is a great candidate for the Wood. He's a YouTube, and he works for missing children. Oh, hell, bro. I'll have to go look for that. Keep in mind, I have like over 1 million followers on YouTube, so it's hard for me to get DMs a lot of the time there because I have a lot of people DMing me nonstop, brother. I love you. I appreciate you.
Those are 3 options, okay? Or maybe nothing happens at all, so it's all a psyop. Because I've heard that they're talking about some countries, a guy sent it to me today, I think Vietnam, there's another country, but they're doing a two-week lockdown, just like the COVID, for fuel. Oh man, be scared, stay home, right? Terror cells. I saw a warning ago also that they're stating that maybe Hezbollah and Hamas may attack, and they have confirmed 18,000 of these operatives within the U.S. it goes back to why I was so pissed off about them going and picking up the construction workers and landscapers. Whenever they know 18,000, why are they not going after these guys first? Man, screw the drug dealers, man. Go after the terrorists first. Right?
Yeah.
Let's do that. We're sitting on, obviously, several pressure points, major points, right? Middle East, pretty significant. Doesn't look like that's going to come to pass anytime soon. And obviously, Russia, Ukraine, BRICS, the formation of BRICS. I said this years ago, is that BRICS was going to be the anti-NATO. Don't think they're not all working together, okay? Don't think they're not. China, to me, by what we did with Iran, what we did in Venezuela, truthfully, I'm surprised China hadn't taken Taiwan yet, because in my opinion, it would give me a free pass to go take Taiwan. It really would. I said, well, y'all doing it here, I'm going to go do this. The bigger picture of this is that modern warfare is changing faster than most people realize. It doesn't start the way people think. People imagine tanks crossing borders, Red Dawn. It's not how it works anymore. Modern conflict begins with things like cyber attacks, infrastructure sabotage, drone strike, proxy forces, plausible deniability. Oh, we had nothing to do with that.
Yeah.
You don't need a full invasion anymore. That's movies. You just need a few strategic disruptions. You see how much Americans hate each other? Dude, make the power grid go down in a certain area. Ports shut down. People can't get food, water. Energy facilities hit.
Do you know how many people would die if they took out our energy grids? Like, do you know how many people can't survive? Like, how many people are not set up, especially in like big, sprawling urban areas? How many people would not be able to live if the electricity went down? When there's not food on the shelves anymore, chaos happens in the streets within 24 to 48 hours. People turning on each other, all sorts of crazy shit, man. All sorts of crazy shit. It's wild. And it sucks that we don't have faith in our government, because we have people that are fucking violently retarded. They're paid off by PACs. They're paid off by corporations. They don't have integrity, and they probably got smooth brains and testosterone levels about the size of their shoe count, homie. You know what I'm saying? If we could get dudes like Black Scout, like this dude has integrity, he's smart, he's the type of dude that you could actually fucking respect. Dudes like Nate, Valhalla, there's so many people that I think would be better representatives of our country than the soy-ass motherfuckers that we have in there. It's absolutely nuts to me. It's nuts to me. Benny, hold on, you guys. We're going to stop everything for Benny. I got you a present. It's a pad. It's for your bleeding pussy, Benny. Benny Pussy Bleedy. Why do you come in here and announce that you're unsubbing, bro? Do you think you're that important? Do you think that you're going to get anything on the way out the door other than the fucking, here you go, baby, this for your bloody pussy? Like, are you dead ass, bro? Get the fuck out. Oh, he got twatapulted. Get him, Dre. Adults are talking. Go back to the kids' table, pussy. Yeah. I just think that there's so many better people. Did you guys see that today Trump endorsed Jake Paul? His complete and total endorsement if Jake Paul wants to go and run for any type of office. Are y'all voting for fucking Jake Paul, homie? I'm not voting for Jake Paul, bro. I'm not doing that shit. That's wild as hell, man. I'm sorry. That's not happening. I'm not doing it. You got to inspire me as a leader to get me down to the fucking voting booth. I'm not getting off my couch unless you can inspire me, motherfucker. You better come. You better have good policies for the American people. They better be sound constitutionally. And I better believe that with every fiber of your fucking being, you love this country, the people of this country, and the principles upon which it was founded. Because anything else is disrespecting the blood of everybody who gave their life, who sacrificed to make this country what it is today. And we keep getting pussies in there. It's gross and it's disrespectful.
No AC, no heat. And then the economy on top of that is shaking right now. You add in all these things, you will have people at the throats. You won't even have to send anybody here. Americans will do the work for you. Okay? And the drones have become the poor man's cruise missile, guys. Look at what's been happening in Ukraine. Really, the Russia-Ukraine war has changed warfare, significantly in the past few years, okay?
Mm-hmm.
For a few $1,000s, you can build a drone capable of flying hundreds of miles and hitting a target. Completely changed warfare. We got guys trying to create ammunition to be able to shoot down these drones so that they're not killing soldiers. You no longer need billion-dollar missile programs. You just need GPS coordinates, a launch point. That's why militaries around the world are scrambling to develop drone defense systems. The Marine Corps is making that like their priority. They're bringing in guys as E7 to work in this field.
You don't need a lift to work like a pro. Directed DIY puts verified repairs, step-by-step guide.
So the next major attack somewhere in the world probably won't come from fighter jets. It'll come from something small, cheap, extremely difficult to stop, once it's already airborne. Now, the question people are asking, when governments need public support for war, what historically changes public opinion almost overnight? A direct attack. Pearl Harbor, 9/11. History shows that when Americans feel personally threatened, public support for military action increases dramatically.
Yep.
I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but history, man, shows me a different thing. It's how you shift public opinion. Maybe this intelligence report is just precautionary. Maybe a psyop to scare. Maybe the doomsday plan is just, man, simply conducting a routine drill. Maybe nothing happens. But when you start seeing multiple signals where there's smoke, there's fire, you've heard me say this forever. FBI warnings, drone threat alerts, strategic military aircraft, the rising global tensions, you pay attention, man, because history has a strange habit of moving slowly until it doesn't.
Somebody just said Peter Thiel is a lizard. Peter Thiel is absolutely a fucking lizard, bro. Peter Thiel is 1,000% a lizard. What do you guys think? Do you guys think Elon Musk is lizard people? Let me know in the chat what you think about that. Roman Wolf Gaming said CEO McDonald's not lizard, not liking the Archburger. Man, yeah, no, bro. That video of him eating that Archburger, that was, that was nasty as fuck, bro. Yeah, so I see a lot of people saying they think Elon is a lizard, and a lot of people saying they don't think Elon is a lizard. Why is he built like a Cybertruck, though? Why is his physique like a Cybertruck? He goes out like this, bro. Like, he's got a crazy physique, dog. You know what I'm saying? Richest man in the world. Richest man in the world. He doesn't, he's got the weirdest fucking physique I've ever seen, bro. I would expect if it ever came down to combat, his chest would open up and fucking missiles would start pew, 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 pew. I really can't be making fun of people for having chest missiles though, can I, guys? I really can't. I can't say shit about no chest missiles, so don't think I'm dissing nobody. I got chest missiles too, you guys. I'm a fucking X-Man. That's my fucking mutant powers, weird ass nipples. You know what I'm saying? McChicken Lover, you can't convince me that our government isn't going to screw us over. We're all sitting ducks if we don't stay strapped. Well, and listen, man, let me tell you this as somebody who has been stripped of his Second Amendment rights, which I believe to be unconstitutional. But at the same time, I follow all laws today. I already have a felon in possession of a firearm on my record. So, you know, don't take it for granted, your Second Amendment rights, you guys. Do not take it for granted. Go and get yourself guns. Get yourself big guns. Get yourself small guns. Get yourself medium guns. Get all that shit, bro. Use and exercise your Second Amendment rights. I know guns can be expensive, but hey, it's better to have them in an emergency than to have any of these electronics people are buying. Carrie Kindness, I just wanted to remind everyone that they matter. Carrie, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, sis. Yo, we got Diamond Alex in the chat. What's up, my dog? How you doing, brother? Angry American. The engines for Iran drones came from Rotax in Australia. Is Australia hooking up fucking Iran with their drone parts? That seems a bit fucked, mate. You know what I'm saying? That seems a bit fucked. ID Jedi. My dad was a lieutenant colonel in the Air Force. He passed while serving at the Pentagon in 2005. He made sure our troops had what they needed in the field. He loved this country and he would be disgusted with how things are going. Big love and respect on your dad. Rest in peace, man. Big respect for his service and his sacrifice. Pot over alcohol. I like your name, dog. I like your name. I don't smoke, but if I was going to do something, I think weed is way less destructive for me personally. Trump is the embodiment of the Antichrist. Now, I kind of think he's I would say Netanyahu, personally, for me. That's just me. That'd be my choice. It's kind of what their whole religion's about. Giggles the Clown. I'd like to see a video of Bill Clinton singing Mambo No. 5. I'm sure you could make AI do that. A little bit of Monica on my type shit. Matt, what's up, buddy? How you doing? Regardless of your feelings on what happened on 9/11, a lot of good people died that day. Amen. And a lot more are still dying because of the aftermath, both because of sickness and mental issues. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I haven't seen anyone in the chat disrespecting anybody on the 9/11 thing. But I know that we lost a lot of good people, and there's a lot of people still suffering to this day because of it. Plunged in. Remember the saying, society is always 9 meals away from anarchy. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. Remember, never underestimate how crazy shit can get. Do you remember when they announced COVID and people went out and bought all the toilet paper? Like literally hoarding fucking doo-doo paper, bro. Like super weird. And I lived in Florida and they were doing that shit. Where like, bro, like I didn't go hoard toilet paper. If something happens to me, I'll just go hose my asshole in the yard, bro. Super weird. Super weird. Marcus said, you inspire us all with the wood chippers. Hell yeah, brother. I appreciate you. Fangs, JD for President 2028, make wood chippers legal punishment. Well, if you're talking about some wood chipper 2028, brother, make pedophiles afraid again, I'm with them shits. You already know. But I will say this: I don't think America's ready to have a JD in any type of office. I'm a little bit more of an extremist. And you know, they would take so many different clips from all my shit. I'm watching what they're doing to Brandon, who remains measured and moderate, and they're trying to call him a neo-Nazi. They're trying to call him all sorts of crazy shit. They're cutting little clips. It would be a fucking absolute shit show if I ever tried to run for anything. It would be crazy. Robbie, love and respect, homie. Love and respect to you too, man. I appreciate you, big dog. Lynch had said, like, false flags too. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. False flags. And like Black Scout was saying, it doesn't even have to be an actual active false flag. It could be them just allowing the enemy to attack, like what probably happened in Israel. You know, the thing that they killed, well, one of the theories is they killed Charlie Kirk for saying that. You know, he also was calling him out on compromising our government. And they also called him out that, you know, people are saying that his switch up on the Epstein files. Crusaders Revolution. This guy is a shill. Oh, you got twatapulted before I could do it. I know you're still there, baby boy. You need a little sucky. A little nippy, remind you of your uncle. Get a little gung, make your throat feel better. You got a little itchy throat there, buddy? All right. I'm having fun with these tonight. I got a tampon, a binky, a pad. Motherfuckers is acting wily in this chat. Fuck yeah! I like it when I get to talk shit. That shit's my favorite. I grew up in the 80s, and you didn't even know your friends were your friends unless they were calling you slurs, talking shit to you, and every once in a while throwing rocks at you for no fucking reason. That's how we get down. That's how we got down in the 80s. Darth said, reminder, it's trading season for mill. Concerned, but don't assume all movement of mill equipment is connected. Be prepared, but don't panic. Panic kills. And I think that we're just trying to be educated, toss around the ball a little bit, see what people think. I know that the FBI has 100% stated and alerted all the police departments in California that they believe there's a credible, imminent attack, a drone attack from Iran. But, you know, we'll see how that pans out. Vortex the Shark said, what's good, JD? Life has been absolutely blessed of late. I'd love to hear that. Moved in with my girl, got a promotion at work, and almost done with my degree. Hope you're having an awesome day and stay blessed, brother. You know what? We hear so much stuff where people are struggling. It's so awesome to hear about the wins. I'm so happy for you. Big love to you and your girl. I hope you guys have a beautiful time together. Victoria Beale said, if we get attacked and they hit random civilian areas, it's 100% a false flag BS. If they hit targets that shut down bases, it's really Iran. And, you know, that could be a really good indicator. I mean, that really could be a very good indicator right there. Seal said, Elon Musk is a Martian trying to get back to Mars. I feel like that's fair, dog. You know what I'm saying? That's fair. Jared said, remember that dude that unsubbed? That one that don't matter? Guess what? Replaced! Hey, welcome to the family, man. Love having you here. Big love and respect to you. Hell yeah. Jason said, the wife and I both say if they put Jake Paul in office, we're going back to Ireland. Man, so here's the thing is, I don't know if you guys know who the golf conservative is, Jake Monroe, but I talked to him and I was telling him, man, I really want to go to Ireland. It's been on my bucket list forever. And he's like, don't come now. He's like, I don't know if Ireland will ever be Ireland again. He said, Ireland is absolutely trashed. It's unrecognizable of what it used to be. The Islamists have taken it over and the government has absolutely let them. So, you know, there's still a lot to fight for here in this country. I know that we have a lot of problems, but this country is beautiful. The people here are amazing. The fundamental principles upon which this country is based are worth fighting for, in my opinion. And that's what I would do. Roman Wolf said, what happens to inmates in prison for prostitution? I never met no dudes in prison for prostitution, to be honest with you, brother. I think there might have been some dudes in county jail because for selling ass, bro, for selling duck or selling ass, it's only a misdemeanor to do that. Like, you could go down the street right now and tell an undercover cop, I'll let you get my booty hole for $20 and they could arrest you. It's only a misdemeanor. It's not a felony. So you're only going to do county time. I don't think people really care too much. You'll probably get made fun of for that, bro. Dom, what's up? Thank you so much. Big love to you. I'm someone whose family immigrated from the Middle East from Iran in the 1970s. So the fact that this war started because of a failed coup, and now I have to see my family's home on my mom's side be destroyed, I'm very angry on this war. We are still in exile. Dom, I'm glad that you're here and not there. I'm sorry that you're having to see your homeland be destroyed. Big love and respect to you. Big love and respect to you. And thank you so much for that big support, family. Steven, what's up, man? Hey, JD, I've been watching your content for a while now. And as a fellow convicted felon who changed his life, I support you, bro. Hello from Erie, Pennsylvania. Hey, man, you're a hero. You're out here doing things, man. Every single one of us who lived that life and got out, we have skills and we have confidence and we have so much to offer the world, bro. Like, I'm so proud of you for getting out of that shit and huge love and respect, my man. Roman Wolf said, what's worse, catching chomo fire or wood chipper? I'd like to do both. Run them through the chipper, then light the fucking mulch on fire, bro. Let's do that. Why not do all of it? Rolla J, what's up, man? Majority of Australians don't want our current government in office. The Prime Minister is a traitor, brother. Hey, trust and believe. We get that over here, too. We get that over here. We got Jedi is Gen X in the house. 73, baby. Hell yeah. Big love to you. Lynch and Glazer said, I mean, the one thing, though, if you did run, man, all the attacks from the media don't work anymore. I mean, what are they going to do? Call me a white supremacist? Call me a Nazi? Call me a fascist? Like, I'll laugh at them and be like, okay, so what are you going to do about it? I'm still going to get votes, you know? And just, it would be a weird battle. I see what they're doing to Brandon, and it's never going to work, homie. Lynchon also said, also, hey, did you notice that Uncle Ted took out one of the guys that was on the list from the island? How is he doing more than the feds? Bro, I have no idea. I have no idea. Darth Seffi said, yo, JD, hope you and your family are doing good. With how unstable our government is, anything could snap off at any time. If and when it comes time to roll, I'm in, brother. Much love from North Carolina. That's what's up, dog. Big love and respect to you, man. Yarn Maiden, I got news that my main abuser is 6 feet under. Yes, one less, I almost said some shit. One less piece of shit off of our planet, not breathing up our oxygen. I love you. I hope you feel safer, and I hope that it feels like a better place to be now. Airborne 85 Vet, if someone tells you where and how they'll attack, ask why they're saying it. Exactly. They may want you to react a certain way so they can spin the response in their favor. And that's one of the things that doesn't add up to me, is that they're going to tell us where they're going to attack and that it's imminent. Like, you're going to give us the heads up, homie? Like, I don't know about y'all, but like, I'm from prison. And when you're going after an op and you really are at war, you roll up on them from behind and you start shivving them in the fucking neck. You go for their internal organs. You know what I'm saying? That's what you do. You don't, you know, I'm gonna get you next time we go out to the yard. I'm gonna get, no, bro, you just run up on them and you get their ass, dog. That's what it is. So Vinny said, 4 straight decades of the Irish fighting for independence against the Brits, only to allow their country to be taken over by Islamic extremists. What a fucking shame. Well, and it's partially because the UK still has control. Look what's happening over in the rest of the UK. It's all overrun, bro. Vegas Gem, I have read that the Iranian drones would not be coming from Iran, but deployed from unidentified vessels off the coast of the United States homeland. My hubby is a pardoned ex-felon. That is incredible. I know how difficult it is to get a pardon. I'm trying right now. I would really love to be able to do that. But yeah, no, I think that that's the general consensus, is that it would be coming off our coast from an unidentified vessel. I think another really possible thing is that it would be coming from Mexico. You know, I don't think they have as close of a monitoring system over there as we do. And, you know, that would make sense as to why California would be a target as well. James Jones said, JD, move to Arkansas. You could run for governor and win. I love it out in Arkansas. I'm not going to lie. I had a great time out in Arkansas. It's really fucking cool over there. Like, I hella dig it.
Rebound and recover with the Planet Fitness Black. Join and get your first month free. Deal ends March 13th.
Does California need a MAGA governor? Absolutely not. But business as usual? That doesn't work either. It's time to do better. Matt Mahan, as mayor, he made San Jose.
I hella dig it.
See how smart it is? It waits till I step away from the screen, then it tries to give you a commercial. It's diabolical.
So, I want to finish up this video, see what else Black Scout has to say. But for those of you who want to follow Black Scout, man, he is the pinned comment in the chat, a link straight to him, and he is absolutely worth following. I absolutely love watching his stuff.
Stay frosty, stay strapped, stay dangerous. Black Scout.
2, 3. 1, 2.
Bro, that ending is hard as fuck. Not gonna lie. That ending is hard as fuck right there, y'all. Like, that's absolutely sick. I love it. So, old turd Ferguson's here. What's up? Did you see that Newsom can't take possession of the gun that was gifted by Sean Ryan because of the laws that he passed? And isn't that ironic? You would think that he'd have a workaround because he's such a slimy scumbag piece of shit. You would think that he would have laws for everyone else and not himself. I'm sure he probably still kept that gun. Did he keep the gun? Does anybody know? Can we let me know in the chat if he kept the gun? Because I feel like he probably did. He's an absolute piece of garbage, man. I know that people are saying false flags. I believe that there is a huge chance of false flags. We had, what was it? Was it 76% of people on that poll said that they believe that our own government would do a false flag attack on its own people to justify their fucking wars. So, yeah. Pardon me. Sorry, I don't have the power to pardon, homie. That would be great. Don't want to sound mean, but I don't care about Ireland. Well, motherfucker, I do. And I'm the one with the microphone tonight. So, Jimmy said Black Scout is tight. That dude's a real one. Grew with honor and all of his junk over the years. Hell yeah, that's what's up. That's what's up. Come to Wyoming. You'll fit right in. We don't put up with stupid here. Jason, I've never been to Wyoming, and I've always wanted to go. I think that would be sick. All right, you guys. Well, I love you. I appreciate you. I have a sick wife and a sick daughter, so I'm going to be jumping off here. I'm not doing multiple hours tonight, but I really wanted to jump on, and I wanted to talk about this because I released a short earlier, and then I watched Black Scout's video, and I was like, man, this actually makes way more sense than any of the shit that I had thought of. And anytime that I'm not giving you guys the best information, or I find new information, or anything like that, I always want to come out and make sure that I provide you guys with whatever information I can. Because I love you guys, and I can admit when I'm wrong, or when there might be other options or possibilities even. It's important for me to be accountable and come out and let you guys know. So I love you guys. I appreciate you. Thank you for riding out. And until the next one, it's always one love, baby. Be good or be...
For 250 years, this land has shaped who we are. From generation to generation, fishing has always been part of the American story.
So that was J-Day Daylight. I'm very sure I sound like a douchebag, and maybe JD will beat me up for taking credit, but I'm very sure that JD is into Black Scout Survival because I messaged him directly, like one of the first people to write something when his column of messages on the YouTube screen was only like 12 people deep or something. I was like, hey, J-Day Daily, this past night show, the squad showed 4 minutes. You should be watching Black Scout Survival. So no one takes me seriously because I guess I have no military experience. And it doesn't sound like I have a lot of street cred because I don't speak ebonics and stuff. And then the way I carry myself, or certain glam metal bands, or like I like pet kitty cats, so dudes don't think I can fight. And then they say I'm fucking invincible my jab is. Yeah, we're all fucking not doing our part for Team Wood Chipper, and JD is the shit. And he's bad, he's awesome. And I let everybody know that Black Scamp Survival is pretty much the best news source. There's some other really good ones. One day I'll make a video that specifies all the other videos. I'll show you on that video about the videos that are better for you to watch. So I don't think that gives a shit. You know? Fall of Western Christianity.
Well, thank you very much, Father, once again, and thank you all for coming out and being patient and enduring. I think it's the first time I've ever given 4 lectures to the same crowd, and I'm really impressed that you're still here after the first 3. This is going to be the most maybe provocative and interesting of the 4, perhaps. If you thought, well, is that possible after the last one we did on ecumenism? But it is possible. I'm not actually going to be able to present the entire survival course, which went on for many, many days and is a large book. But what we're going to do is introduce it. And how many have read the survival course? Can we see a show of hands? All right. And how many have heard? How many have not heard of the survival?
Going back to school doesn't mean starting from scratch. At Purdue Global, the learning you have gained through experience.
Is the stage set for the coming of the Antichrist, the final Antichrist at the end of the world? Dear friend of mine, a man I respect greatly, great priest, Father Chad Ripperger, was recently interviewed by Sean Ryan. Huge podcast. I encourage you to go watch it. It's about 4 hours long, if I recall. It goes by really quick. And I think it almost has 2 million views in just a few days. They talk about aliens. They talk about scandal. They talk about the Catholic Church. They talk about exorcism. But one of the really interesting topics that they discuss is who is the Antichrist and what will set the stage for the Antichrist. And has that been done, or is it almost accomplished? And so I thought it'd be helpful. As you know, I've written a best-selling book, Antichrist and Apocalypse. It's a Catholic perspective on the end times. Many of you have heard of end times, and unfortunately, if you go to a Barnes & Noble or a Christian bookstore and you buy a book about the end of the world or the end times, it's not only written by Protestants, but most of these books are very sensational, and they're written by dispensationalists and Zionists. So they have a very hard bent towards the heretical dispensational theology, which has to do with the rapture, for example, which is not what historic Christians believed. It's definitely not what Catholics or Eastern Orthodox believe. And so I wrote this book, Antichrist and Apocalypse, to give the biblical, but I think really important, the patristic, the church fathers. Almost all the church fathers talked about the end of the world, the Antichrist, etc. And so I collect all that into one place. So if you'd like to get the book, links in the show notes. I think even more importantly is I created an online course. If you want to take an online course on apocalyptic studies, you can get that starting for just $1 initial offer. You can do the whole course for $1 if you like. That link is also in the show notes, and thousands of people have found that course helpful if you just want to take an online course. And you can also earn your certificate in apocalyptic studies. It's all there at the New St. Thomas Institute. So please check that out. What I'm going to do is I'm going to play the clip of Sean Ryan and Father Chad Ripperger, particularly the part about the Antichrist. Do a little commentary. Then I'm going to give you a list of everything we know from Scripture and Catholic tradition about the Antichrist. All right, everything. All right, you're going to get all the details. And then we're going to do some analysis. Are we Are we in the moment where the stage has been set for the Antichrist to walk out and to take charge? I think that many of the signs are there, and food for thought. When you have in places less than 20% of Catholics attending Mass on Sunday, like in places like Italy, perhaps the historically most Catholic country in the world. In America, it's that way. When 4 out of 5 Catholics aren't even showing up, they're not even going to Mass. That is I'll use the word portal. That is a portal. That is an opening to the forces of evil. When you have the majority of baptized people who were initiated into the Catholic Church, which is the body of Christ, and they are not living the fundamental bare minimum of Christian obedience, already you have an influx of evil and we might have time to talk about it, the katakon in Greek, the withholding force that St. Paul talks about. We'll look at that in Scripture today. That withholding force, all right, that's like the wall, that's the barrier, that's the moat. When the majority of Catholic Christians are not showing up, that katakon, that withholding force diminishes. Our outer wall is crumbling, and it allows evil to take a foothold. And that's why you see so much degeneracy in the world. You see confusion over what is gender, what is marriage, what is human. Can we take the life of little ones? Can we deny their humanity? We have seen an explosion of evil and confusion in the world. And I think that is, well, Paul says it is an indicator. So we'll get into that. Before I start and show the clip from Sean Ryan and Father Chad Ripperger, I want to honor today's sponsor, and that is Field of Greens, something that I've benefited from personally, and it's part of my health routine. People don't always look forward to their annual physical because they're nervous about bad news. And that's why before your next checkup, I would recommend that you incorporate Field of Greens. In fact, Field of Greens says that if you use their product and you go to your physical, your annual checkup, and your doctor doesn't notice an improvement, you get your money back, a full refund. We talk about, looking good beyond your calendar age, losing weight, but your biological age, that's how healthy your cells and your organs are. It's important that you have the proper nutrition. And unfortunately, because of the world we live in, with GMOs and all kinds of horrible things they put in the food and on the plants and on the soil, we don't often get that. So Field of Greens is designed with that in mind. Each fruit and vegetable is doctor selected to support your cells, your heart, your lungs, your kidneys, and a healthy weight. In fact, a university study found that participants who added only Field of Greens saw measurable improvements in key health markers. Just one tiny change changed so much in their lives. And that's why Field of Green promises your doctor will notice improved health or your money back. Get your next physical with confidence with just one single scoop a day. Make Field of Greens part of your change this year. And you can get 20% off at fieldofgreens.com, 20% off using the promo code TM, Taylor Marshall, that's my initials, TM, fieldofgreens.com. Get 20% off with the promo code TM. Make the change, feel the difference. All right, let's take a look now at this interview with Father Chad Ripperger and Sean Ryan. Let me cue it up. I'm on my laptop, so it's a little bit smaller for my eyes to see. Where are you, interview? Tell you what, I might just have to drag it in. That's not it. Not it. Something's different. I'm changing.
I don't know if I like who I'm becoming.
Boyd, there are a lot of people wanting to know what happened down there.
Where's Dan? Why isn't he back yet?
Tabitha.
We need to talk.
It means everything they showed us. It's real. I think they're doing it to make us afraid.
Well, then it worked. There's something ancient here. And it's feeding off our suffering, and it doesn't stop.
We're losing. We're running out of time, and we still don't know the goddamn rules. There is no way to fight back against those things. Everything we've done, every sacrifice we've made, none of us are going anywhere.
You think you're some kind of hero? You're a monster. Lord, please protect.
I don't like fiction. Shut up.
Not it. I got so many things here.
Situation for the Antichrist.
Here it is.
Just about present. The Antichrist has to be able to rule the world. He's not going to rule through governance. He's going to rule it through economies.
That's a key, before we watch the rest of the clip, that is a key observation. I'm glad Father Chad Ripperger said that, because if you read Revelation chapter 12, Apocalypse chapter 12, the power of the Antichrist, yes, there's signs and miracle. Yes, there's a political dimension. Yes, he's a false king, a false Messiah, a false Christ. But his power over people is economic. In fact, if you look at the section on the mark of the beast, the key power of the mark of the beast is those that don't receive the mark of the beast will not be able to buy or sell. Those that don't have the mark of the beast will not be able to buy or sell. You won't be able to sell anything out of your store. You won't be able to go to the store and buy groceries, buy gasoline, pay your bills. So the power of the Antichrist is in the economy. It's in buying and selling. And if you think about it, really, if you go back to the first century or the 500s or the 900s or the 1300s, it was pretty much impossible for someone to be able to globally restrict a person from being able to buy or sell anything. Like, what are they going to do? They could come and steal your money, right? They could confiscate your goods. They could, shutter up your store. But now we live in an age with a global economy. We're moving to digital economy, digital banking, digital point of sales. It used to be you paid cash, then you could write a check, and there were credit cards. But even credit cards, they had to swipe them, or at least remember the old days in the 80s, they kind of ran a thing over with the paper. There was something.
I run a survival knife channel. There's a very popular survival knife, American-made, S.E. Hungless. It's discontinued. There's so many survival knives that are discontinued. Where I'm getting at is, I'm trying to prep. I'm trying to buy. Look, this Glock. Gavin Newsom hates this Glock. He sued Glock. I'm a Joe X fan. Joe X is from Austria. They make Glock. For some fucking reason, this Gen 3 Glock 17, Gavin Newsom hates it. I don't know why. So what I'm trying to say is, before we go to electronic currency, you guys might try to want to get your house in order. You might want to try to buy everything you need now while you can, before your social credit score, whatever, somehow tells you to fuck off and that you can't do what you want to do with your own God-given fucking freedom. So, let's just be warned. Try to turn this back on.
Tangible or something physical. Now we're at the point where you can just tap your card on a thing and the sale goes through. Or sometimes you don't even have to get your card out. You tap your phone and it works. As we accelerate into a digital economy, and there's a person, we call him the Antichrist, who has supreme power over that ability for your digital units, your digital currency, and he can obstruct that if you don't have the mark of the beast. That is a sign that we are getting closer to the end of time. For the first time in human history, since the days of Adam and Eve, we're now at a point where one person could literally turn off your ability to buy groceries from thousands of miles away because of digital banking, digital currency, and how all of this works. All right, so that's a key thing. We'll maybe talk about that later. I'm going to go through all the different points, but here's Father Ripperger talking to Sean Ryan on Antichrist.
Pittsburgh is built to perform. From America's #1 selling floor jacks to sockets, ratchets, and shop equipment.
Different points, but here's Father Ripperger talking to Sean Ryan on Antichrist.
When he appears, there has to be a unification of the worldwide economy. It's just been an implosion where people just aren't following the laws of God and of the natural law in any sense of the term. The people that are alive, that in order to survive, you have to be able to plug into that economy in some fashion. That's why they talk about the mark of the beast. Well, we're almost there, where they can literally just decide, look, unless you're going to sign off on certain things, you're not going to have access to the digital currency that we're going to enact worldwide, and therefore, because that's how we can rule it.
Yeah, we're talking like social credit score.
Yeah, that's right.
And so how do you make it? You know? Father Ripperger, I've talked to him personally on this, and he mentioned a little bit on Sean Ryan. There will be people that live, Catholics who live during the reign of the Antichrist, which will be 3.5 years. The reign of the Antichrist, it's said in Daniel, it's also said in the book of Revelation. 42 months, 3.5 years, that's what it is. There will be people alive, there'll be martyrs during that time period. There will be Catholics who endure to the very end. How does that happen? You know, and I've talked to Father Ripperger about it. A lot of it has to do with learning how to provide your own food, providing communities where there's maybe a barter system in play. You know, maybe it has to do with gold and silver. You've heard me talk about that quite a bit. Raising your own chickens, you know, we raise our own cattle, or our family raises our own beef. All of these things.
I disagree. I have been a prepper. I'm a prepper. I'm a survivalist. Okay. I'm not the greatest one, but I am one. I've been obsessed with prepping and survival and tactical shit for the last 3 years of my life. And Mr. Doctor, this preacher, Doctor, I have no memory, Taylor Marshall. Him and a lot of other people are telling you how you need to prep for the apocalypse. You need to prep for shit hits the fan. You need to prep for an end of the world scenario, rule without law. Okay, one of my favorite news sources is Black Scout Survival. He's much better prepper than I am, right? But he'll agree with me. He would agree with me that the best prep, I'll show you what the best prep is. I'll show you. What the best prep is, as early as you can, within the shit hits the fan scenario, like it should have been years ago, okay? You take pair of chomo aristocrats. This is your real prepper. You go where bad people are and you take their shit. That's a real prepping right there. But not enough people want to endorse that because maybe it gets you demonetized or something. No. I didn't say. You guys might live in good family-oriented communities. I didn't say go take your neighbor's shit. I didn't say go take your neighbor's shit that didn't do anything to you. I said, as early as possible, we should have already took all the bad people's shit. The Epstein's people's shit, we should have already took their shit. New person that's here. You want to see what I said? Everybody's talking about prepping, okay? Prepping, learning how to grow your own food, learning, storing canned food, water. Yes, of course. Let me show you what the real prepping is. Give me 5 seconds. 5 seconds. This is what real prepping is, guys. Real prepping is, before shit got so bad, you just take bad people's shit. Hey, Jeffrey Epstein, we're taking your fucking island. Hey, Bill Clinton, get your dick out of fucking teenagers' face. Hey, motherfuckers, we're gonna stop paying taxes. Hey, motherfuckers, we're not gonna listen to what the fuck you say, and we're not gonna let you take our Ruby Ridge or our fucking ranch or our fucking repossessed fucking shit because you're not doing your job and you're a fucking chomo aristocrat bitch. So yes, learn how to farm, grow your own food, but there's not enough people with enough balls to state the obvious that the real way to prep for the survival is take evil people's shit by the fucking sword. I'm making some coffee over there. So I'm gonna be right back and we're gonna talk about stuff. Okay, and then I gotta go walk around. So I'm a security guard out in the middle of the desert, guys. You don't fucking care. I love you, just kidding. I'm a security guard out in the middle of the desert. I'm probably guarding the entry to fucking Area 51 for all we know. Okay.
We raise our own cattle, or our family raises our own beef. All of these things might be, part of that. But the Antichrist coming, another part of the interview Father Ripperger talks about, that part of the Antichrist coming is this great apostasy. Apostasy is a Greek word. It means falling away. And St. Paul talks about it in 2 Thessalonians. And I wanted to read that passage to you because, oftentimes we think, I got to go read the book of Revelation or read private revelation or, sketchy prophecies. St. Paul in 2 Thessalonians illustrates the progress of the Antichrist at the end of time. And it's some of the most useful and detailed information. In fact, even more detailed than what we see in the book of Revelation. So I wanted to go through this Bible section with you, and then I'm going to distill for you all the elements of what we know about the Antichrist. All right. And if you want to learn more, sign up for my online course at New St. Thomas Institute, the Apocalyptic Studies course. You can sign up for $1 special Lenten program going on. It's the first link in the show notes. Okay, here is what St. Paul the Apostle says about the Antichrist. Chapter 2, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for unless there come an apostasy first, and the man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. We'll pause there. Okay, so Paul's saying, look, there was early Christians in the first century, and they were kind of worried, like, did we miss Jesus coming? Did he come to Jerusalem and somehow we didn't make it? St. Paul says, look, there's going to be two things before Christ returns at the end of time. The great apostasy, that is falling away from Jesus Christ. Right? If you are a Buddhist, you can't commit apostasy because you never were baptized. You never had a relationship with Jesus Christ. You can't apostatize. You can only apostatize if you have the true faith, and then you say, you know what? I don't want Christ anymore. I don't want Jesus Christ.
How you guys doing? People are writing. Let me see. Lauren says hi. Hi, Lauren. How am I? Really good. How you doing? I look like shit. I'm usually a good-looking dude, buff and shit, tall, but I look like shit right now. So we're talking about basically getting ready for the end of the world, guys. Southern California right now, we supposedly have a drone, a terrorist attack coming. This is what's it called? March 14th, 2026. And we got a lot of shit going on, guys. The whole world's on the precipice of getting severely its ass whooped, okay? Late 24, we thought a bunch of aliens was invading the world. There was drones and UFOs everywhere. There was some fucking blimp. The China flew this huge balloon that no one did shit about. You had these terrorist attacks, like women getting stabbed and lit on fire in subways. And then all of a sudden, we had the great white hope. Like, Trump gonna fix everything, gonna get us out of Netanyahu's ass, get us out of Ukraine. Tariffs are gonna fix the economy. It's gonna bring back Social Security. It's gonna take away income taxes. And now we learn the whole world really is ran by twos who love touching kids, and there doesn't matter left, right, Republican, Democrat, they're all guilty. And we're paying taxes to fucking child molesters to tell us what the fuck to do and to screw us out of our God-given constitutional rights. I mean, like, do you realize at the same time people are trying to say we live in a huge matrix, a computer simulation, a Mandela effect? We have like goddamn fucking companies like Fruit of the Loom swearing that they never had certain caricatures that we all grew up with. It's like the moment that the internet was born, people learn that whoever holds that Google, the social media, you could change history. You could use artificial intelligence. Now, artificial intelligence is going to be the new boogeyman, the new thing. Like, no Palantir can get that. And it's the fear of AI is also going to get us, is going to be exploited. We're going to get social credit scores where you're not going to be able to question Israel. You're not going to be able to question if vaccines are necessary or not. And we're going to go to a digital currency to usher in the Antichrist. That's why I'm telling you guys, saving money doesn't always work. Sometimes you need to use that money to take advice from people like me. You need a Maverick 88. You need to know where you can get abundant water or store that water, know how to boil water, purify water. I learned, okay, people want silver and gold, right? I learned my life, what I need the most, I need a thick machete, I need something that can start fires, something that can hold water, something that's gonna keep me dry and relatively warm in the rain. And then you have to take into consideration your boots are going to wear out. How many pairs of shoes can you live in a lifetime with? You know, what's the most durable shit that lasts? Tourniquets, band-aids, peroxide, you know, first aid, you know, all that stuff. How much of that shit can you really carry? Where are you gonna stash it? The real answer is, all this, while we still have some freedom left and some freedom of speech, us good people need to get together and kill the bad people, take their shit and stop what's going on. But everybody is just gonna prep and LARP and hold out for their own and wait for Jason Aldean to lead the charge against the government. And say what? And Mr. Frog says hello. How you doing? Lauren's had to take off. Take care, Lauren. Say what through you says, and baby oil. You need some, but I need baby oil. Yeah, no thanks, man. Yeah, no thanks. Say what? Yeah, no thank you. I'm sure you're filled. I'm sure you have so much useful experience and advice to give with baby oil. But I don't do that, dude. I'm a Christian. I only fuck girls in the right hole. So I kind of wasted your time. So anyways, guys, I gotta do something a lot more heroic than say what. I have to go do my job, which is go scare evil people away from this facility that is probably guarding the entry portal tunnel to Area 51. Like, I guess you think that I'm wearing a Halloween costume and I'm not really some armed guard and some Billy badass dude that has been doing martial arts my whole life, because I'm supposed to look like Vin Diesel and speak Ebonics and exude all sorts of machismo. So maybe you don't really believe my stories, but you guys are going to watch Mr. Dr. Taylor Marshall. God bless you, Lauren. Mr. Frog, you're cool. Watch this stuff. I gotta go show. There's cameras here at this job. I gotta show that. I just don't sit down all the time. Which, I mean, fuck. It's a desert. Pretty fucking cold out there. I love it though. I love the weather. But, oh, fucking A. God bless. Watch Taylor Marshall, guys, on the bed.
I don't want to be a Christian. I don't want to go to church anymore. I renounce all of this. That is the grave sin of apostasy. And Paul says there's going to be a great global apostasy where it would seem.
You guys, if you want to know what that apostasy is, I'm very sure you're going to agree with me. The apostasy is this. If you're Catholic, the Vatican is having idols like this idol called Pachamama in there. The Vatican is starting to, the Vatican like covered up for kid touchers. The Vatican is trying to say that maybe, you know, people of the same gender can get married, right? If you're Protestant, then the Antichrist is a new age Jesus, a fake Jesus that Oprah Winfrey talks about, where all you have to do is think very positive thoughts and you kind of create your own morality and you create your own meaning out of the Bible. So that's the Antichrist if you're Protestant. In my opinion, I'm not sure, but if you're Orthodox and the Antichrist is, you're just a fucking dick. Like, I was gonna go Orthodox, but I realized I'm Western, and it's like, yeah, we're Western guys, but I love Orthodoxy too.
The majority of Christians say, I give up on Jesus Christ. I'm done. My question for you is that already happening?
This is Buick Now. Buick.
I was recently in Europe, and it just breaks my heart You know, every time I go back to Europe, this time I was in Italy with our amazing pilgrimage, with our amazing pilgrims. We had our Latin Mass pilgrimage in Rome and Italy. It just breaks my heart. We go into these magnificent, not just parish churches, but basilicas and shrines, and the Basilica of St. Anthony of Padua and the Duomo in Florence. All these places you go in and they're mostly empty, or they are empty. We went into the Cathedral, the Duomo in Florence, and Joy and I were like, let's go visit our Lord Jesus in the Blessed Sacrament. We went, no one was there. You know, a whole city, no one is there. And there was 2 confessionals, 2 priests. No one was going to confession. I think I mentioned this before. I was like, I should just go to confession so the priest has someone here to confession to. I had just been a couple days before. We did go over and ask the priest for a blessing, but it's amazing. You go into this huge dome and this huge cathedral, and just the history and the art and the legacy and the patrimony. And then you go in and there's no one at the tabernacle, and there's no one going to confession. In Italy. And you go to Germany, you go to France, and you go to all these places. And I remember going to this amazing basilica, or was it a basilica? I don't know. It was a huge church in France. And it was empty and no one was in there. In the side chapels where all the side altars had been, which had been used before Vatican II, they literally, in those side altars, they had chairs stacked up and brooms and boxes, and it was dusty and it was dirty. And I was thinking, people built this for the holy sacrifice to be set at all these altars, and now they're using them as broom closets and storage. Is this the great apostasy? And I worry that it is. Honestly, I'm not being sensational. The people, the generations, the families, the traditions, people. Now I know Gen Z, there's a lot of Gen Z people coming back to the church, but you look at the generation after World War II, 1960s, that young generation from the late 50s, early 60s into the 70s, 80s. You see divorce, you see church attendance declining, you see baby baptisms declining, conversions declining, the number of priests, vocations declining, the number of nuns tanking like 89%. Is this the great apostasy? All right, verse 4. Paul's talking about the man of sin, the son of perdition. That is the Antichrist. Paul does not use the word Antichrist there, but all the church fathers agree. He's talking about the Antichrist, the son of perdition, the man of sin. And verse 4, who opposeth and is lifted up above all that is called God, or that is worshipped, so that he sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself as if he were God, end quote. Now, a lot of people believe the Antichrist is going to form a one world religion, which will be a blend and a melting pot of all the religions. So it'll incorporate Buddhism and the Hindu gods and Islam and forms of Christianity. It'll just take all the different religions and stir them in a pot. That is not true. That is not true. The church fathers, I talk about this in my book and in the course, if you sign up, the church fathers are explicit that the Antichrist will not tolerate worship of Jesus Christ, but he will not tolerate worship of Allah or Shiva or Krishna or Buddha or anything. Because St. Paul is very specific in this verse. What does St. Paul say? He says that the Antichrist, the man of sin, is lifted up above all that is called God or that is worshipped. And this specific detail here is not that he is lifted up only against the one true God or only against Jesus Christ. He is lifted up against and above all that is called God, all the false gods, all the idols, all the other religions. You see, the Antichrist, who is perfectly possessed by Satan, will not tolerate worship of the true God, but also all the other false religions. In other words, the Antichrist, who claims to be the Messiah of the Jews, he is jealous and covetous of all worship. He's going to say, don't worship Krishna, worship me. Don't worship Allah, worship me. Don't worship Buddha, worship me. Don't worship Jesus Christ, worship me. He wants the entire world to worship him. So it's not a hodgepodge. It's not a UN ecumenical service. It's something much more aggressive. And then there's a detail that he will sitteth in the temple of God, showing himself as if he were God. Now, the church fathers discuss this. There's debate amongst this. The temple of God can mean two things. The temple of God, of course, refers to the temple that was in Jerusalem, which was destroyed in the year 70 of our Lord. It's gone. Julian the Apostate tried to rebuild it. He was killed in the process. It's never been rebuilt. The Jews want to rebuild it. They want to rebuild it right now. That's why they want a red heifer, and they want to get the Temple Mount, and it's why they pray at the Wailing Wall. All of that is related to this. They want to rebuild the temple, but it's never been rebuilt. So there is a strong consensus in the church fathers that the Antichrist will rebuild the temple and enthrone himself inside as if he were God. There's about 9 church fathers that teach that. All right, I talk about this in the course if you want to sign up. St. John Chrysostom, he indicates that the temple of God refers not simply to a rebuilt temple in Jerusalem, though he seems to grant that that might be the case as well. But he says temple of God refers to the people of God, the Catholic Church, the one holy Catholic and Apostolic Church, and that the Antichrist will force himself in and will set him up seated within the Catholic Church, and he will claim himself to be God. Both could be true. Both could be true. I know Father Ripperger, in that interview, he said the temple will never be rebuilt and that it refers chiefly to the Catholic Church. There are other fathers who assert that there will be a rebuilt temple. So I think it's adiaphora. I think it's a debatable point in Catholic eschatology. Verse 5. He says, remember you not that when I was with you, I told you these things, and now you know what withholdeth, that he may be revealed in his time. Here, withholdeth is the Greek word katakon. All right, it's the withholding power. Church fathers often refer to this as the Roman Empire. The structure of the Roman Empire was withholding the Antichrist. The Roman Empire, formed into what we now call the Byzantine Empire. Of course, by the year 800, we have the Holy Roman Empire with Charlemagne. Over time, that becomes the Habsburg Empire. Under the Holy Roman Empire, eventually it becomes the Austrian, Hungarian Empire, all the way up until Blessed Karl of Austria. With Blessed Karl of Austria, who is beatified, he's exiled off the coast of Portugal, and he dies in that empire, that Roman Empire, Christian Roman Empire, comes to an end.
Very interesting to me, guys. Very interesting. So, hi. I don't know if anybody's here or cares. That's the video, guys. I got a lot of shit to do, so I hope everybody had some informativeness going on that they enjoyed or needed. So, God bless you guys. What should this video be called? Oh yeah, deadly situations and fucking shit hits the fan or something. Deadly situations and world dilemmas or something. Yeah, have a good one, guys.